Police Detective Joseph Seals, who made the ultimate sacrifice, and the 3 innocent bystanders lost, Leah Minda Ferenc, Moisha Deutsch, and Miguel Douglas. To honor their families, we ask you to all rise and join NJCU and the Jersey City community in a moment of silence. Thank you. Now at this time, as our nation continues to deal with conflict overseas, we're reminded of the sacrifices Americans have made in the name of liberty, freedom, and justice, and to honor those who serve our country as law enforcement officials, firefighters, and military personnel. Please join both schools in honor of America with the playing of our national anthem. Thank you.
And welcome here to John J. Moore Athletic Center. It is a doubleheader here at Ed Jack action. We'll start with the women as the Montclair State Redhawks, who's won 6 of the last 7 Ed Jack championships, will come in here after taking on Cade here on NJCU Gothic Vision as the Gothic Knights look for back-to-back wins. I'm joined alongside assistant SID, grad student, still with the bloodshot eye, but still working hard, Jim Turvey. And we look at our starting lineup here, and you obviously know about Alex McKinnon and what Kayla Bush can do and her double-double ability, but Nicole Carter has been a big star for this team, the freshman guard, and leads them in scoring. Good gym fix there in a sec. Karen Harvey is the head coach, her 13th season here for Montclair State, as the Redhawks looking to get a victory over NJCU. So the Gothic Knights got a great performance against CCNY. 3 players in double-figure games, and we'll look at their starters in a sec. It was the type of balanced scoring that Coach Devaney was looking for. 30-plus turnovers forced in that one. As you look there at the starters, the one to the left, Alexandra Sams, season best, 24 points in that game, 17 of which came in the third quarter, as Jasmine Reese tops now with over 50-plus rebounds, put up a double-double. Hannah Johnson, Sarah Edmond returns to the lineup, team leader at 7.5 rebounds per game, and Ayanna Lewis, this NJCU squad, looking to make it back-to-back wins before we get to the holiday season. Your producer-director is Paul Tataselli. I'm joined alongside Jim Turvey here on NJCU Gothic Vision. Montclair State at NJCU, of course, when I was talking with Ira Thor on our broadcast Monday, there's TCNJ, and then some people could debate the conference. It's everyone else, so a chance now for NJCU to at least weave around, get a couple of big victories here. They'd like one over Montclair State. Second-year coach Devaney, try to get it done, came in last year, made an impact immediately, ended the conference losing streak, the consecutive losses, and a win against Stockton last year. And, of course, got the program's first win in over 50 tries, defeated the College of St. Elizabeth. That's one of the 2 wins for NJCU. The other one, CCNY, 91 points, a season high put up in that one. Gothic Knights shot extremely well, 40%. But the key thing, 44 points off of turnovers. And they made life miserable for CCNY going up and down that floor. And we'll look to do the same to Montclair State this evening. So Kayla Bush going to go up against Jasmine Reese, the 2 top big ladies. Bush second tied with 4 double-figure games off of a double-double, 11 points, 10 rebounds against Kane. 18 points, 13 rebounds in that opener. Season highs for her. Of course, a tough loss for Montclair State against Kane. It's one of the losses to NJCU. Kane beat them 71-62, and Brown will take it for Montclair State. Here's Carter on the baseline, trying to look back out. Goes around now for Brown to McKinnon. One of the top scorers on this team. Thought about a 3. Nice perimeter D. And Brown connects from 3. And there's your opening score for Montclair State. Jim, I'd like to get you in here with me. What do you think are some key factors to building on that offensive consistency NJCU showed on Monday?
Yeah, I think some of the keys to watch out for here. Sams was really feeling it from deep last game. She can really get going when she heats up. Hannah, who we just saw drive to the basket there, I'm looking for her to have a strong performance. She's been a little bit hit or miss lately. She started the season very strong. I think honestly she's going to be kind of the X factor. If she has a good game, the Knights could really be in this and give the Hawks a scare.
McKinnon looking around, connecting with Taylor Brown, who opened the scoring for Montclair State from 3.
Another player to keep an eye on right there with the steal is Edmond. She missed last game. She's probably the Knights' most aggressive player. She takes it to the hoop there.
Rebound by Reese. Her follow-up too long. And again, offensive glass crucial too. Double-digit rebounds for Reese on that offensive glass. Allowed the offense to flourish as it stays 3-0 Montclair State.
Yeah, Jasmine had a great game last time out with her season-high 14 boards. That will be huge because Bush obviously is going to have a lot of size in there, so trying to neutralize that will be big from Coco.
First 5 points for Montclair State. Nicole Carter puts that one down. Carter leading all scores at 12.7 points per game. Sabs for 3. That one too strong off the left rim. And in transition, here comes Montclair State. McLennan to McKinnon for 3. That one rims out. Rebound by Edmond. Man, a lady mentioned before had a season-high 15 rebounds a few games ago. Nice feed from Sams. The Reese cannot finish. An easy rebound for McKinnon. Second time. Go ahead there, Jim.
I was just say it'll be interesting to see what the NJCU approach is. How much they attack. What's a pretty big Redhawks front line. When they get out in transition, that's what they like to do is attack. So we'll see how they approach that.
And if they stay consistent with it as well.
For sure, yeah. You don't want to see them get deterred by a couple early looks that don't go in and then be relying strictly on jump shooting. So we'll have to keep an eye on that.
Well, Edmonds doesn't mind relying on that one. First NJCU bucket. They're within 3 after Montclair State open with the first 5. Here's Ceres McClendon, senior guard, averaging 6.1 points per game. The Cranford native, the Taylor Brown. Looking for Bush. Bush 3 double-doubles for her in her last 4, playing really good basketball. One of the top rebounders on this squad, 69 total. Has it down low and puts that one home. Easy move by Bush, just went right to the block effortlessly. 5-point lead for the Redhawks.
Yeah, the Knights are going to have to put a little more resistance in that. Otherwise, it's going to be a big night for Bush.
Bush, her first 2 points of this evening. Now Sams. Off of 24 points, a season high last game, and she's going to call for a timeout. We know her to shoot the 3. 18 threes made, tops on the team. And Jim, she went off in that second half. And now a chance for NJCU to talk things over. Well, I know Jim has it, but did you know that NJCU Gothic Vision now has their own app? It's true. If you have an iPhone or go to the App Store and download the NJCU Gothic Vision app today, you know it's free. Watch all home games that you cannot attend live on your mobile device. And if you miss it live or just want to see it again, go back and watch on demand. All of this available now on Gothic Vision. Get the app today? Well, Jim, again, when you look at NJCU, look at off the bat here, 1 for their first 6. But again, out of those 7 shots, the looks have been good. It's just about toning it down and knocking them down. We're not taking 4 shots like we saw earlier against CCNJ. They got to stay patient and allow it to fall.
Yeah, I really like that look from Sams. We had the spot on from back here. That looked good coming off the hand. And if she can get going, like we were talking right before the break, she's come off a big game, and she got red hot in the third quarter. She's one who can do that as well. Nice movement there.
And that one an air ball from Johnson, follow up by Lewis. No dice, just 2 points as McKinnon. McClellan now to Carter down the baseline. The Haddon Hunterton Central product, that is. Lost control, out of play. She can't, of course, interesting, you look at Hunterton Central. I'm not sure if you're from New Jersey, Jim, but that area very known for lacrosse. But good athletes all around as Bush able to somehow push that through that left hand of Reese, which was all over it.
Yeah, that was a pretty strong adjustment because Reese definitely got a hand on that, but she got it early enough that Bush was able to power through and get the finish. To see how the Knights handle this early run from the Hawks here.
It's all about how they could deal with it. Sams deep 3. That one way off the mark. Good offensive board by Lewis. Ed Johnson, her 3. That one an air ball and foul down low. And we'll see who that is to. Edmond was closest to it.
I am liking what the work the Knights are putting in on the offensive glass here, but I do think we're seeing them get a little trigger happy from deep, maybe with a little bit of fear towards the height on that front line for the Red Hawks.
Got to stay patient as the Red Hawks not going to let anything happen down low. They got size down there. Kayla Bush 6'3", as Riley Mulligan checks in, and then a turnover by her. Reese grabs it. She had a double-double last game, then dangerous pass to Neal, and that got picked.
Yeah, coach isn't going to be pleased to see that.
Brown trying to go for 2 threes made. That one rimmed out. Another rebound by Reese. Outlets for Edmond. Taylor Gaston will check in for NJCU on the next whistle. Maya Neal with it. Tied 3rd last year in rebounds. Here is McCray.
McCray's one of my favorite players to watch on this team right now. She along with Edmond, really brings a ton of energy and just smarts and savvy to the court. You can kind of tell watching her play. She's a very smart player.
Maya Neal 4. NJCU got to pull the trigger here. Johnson 1, fires. That one hit the left rim, so a rebound available, except Taylor Brown has that defensively. Pat Devaney not happy so far with this effort. McKinnon down low to Bush. Turnaround left hook. Great defense by Reese. And that's what happens. 6 feet that she has to get over. McCray pushes to Edmonds. Her J off the mark. Reese, the offensive board, and puts it home. And I think number 1, Jim, is who you got to look to and kind of slow the game down.
Yeah, they've already got 4 offensive rebounds. Jersey City does. That's something. Overall, you said Devaney wasn't loving, but he's got to like seeing that. And there's a forced turnover. You kind of feel the momentum. This could be a big possession here.
At JCU at 44 points off of turnovers last game. Obviously, Montclair State not going to do the same, as that one will stay with NJCU. Zaira Taylor Gaston will step on, as last year Zaira was the team leader with 18 blocks, 3rd in scoring at 6.9 points per game.
Yeah, Montclair's got a pretty low turnover rate for the season. They're going to be calm. It's going to be tough to force them into stuff. So if the Knights can execute in the half court, that's going to be essential because they're not going to get quite as many transition opportunities as previous games.
Another turnover by NJCU. Also, Karen Harvey. She knows how to get it done. Turned right back over by Montclair State. Johnson's got to finish, can't, and that's the key, Jim. If you're going to get the turnover like again here, you got to get something off of it. And Edmonds does.
And look at that. I said they weren't going to turn it over. They turned it over twice in 10 seconds. So hopefully I can continue to jinx Montclair throughout the game.
And for all the fellow SID friends working on the new live stats program, that's interesting. How you going to do that? Turnover to steal.
Yeah, it gets a little fast there. You have quick fingers.
Here's Taylor Brown. Leaves it to Mulligan. Had a space to drive, but left it to McLennan. Goes back up for Brown, who knocks down. She has 6, 2 threes made, and the lead to 6 for Montclair State. 7 was its largest margin before.
Be interesting to see how Coach approaches defensive here. They're in a zone there, I believe. We'll have to see if they stick with that, because if Montclair is going to be making those outside shots, that could get a little dangerous.
Fade away by Johnson. That's short. Brown, the defensive board. She leads all scores with 6. McLennan had 3 assists already in this one. It goes to Brown for number 4. She's not going to shoot it. Puts it down low. Good defense by Johnson, and they're going to give it to NJCU.
Yeah, Edmonds is strong in the post there. She did, I think 35 there, so I get the name here.
And I do love it.
Myers thought she was going to back her down, and Edmonds said no.
As Williams checks in. However, Jim, she didn't take her sweatshirt off. But still, Jocelyn Williams, the 2-time state champ at University High School, take off your sweatshirt. Too excited. A big board there by Edmond, and she's crucial to have back in this lineup. Yeah, definitely. Hasn't missed a beat. Here's Taylor Gaston, the former 1,000-point scorer at St. Anthony, underneath the Edmond to Jocelyn Williams. Out to Taylor Gaston, going to take McKinnon. Lefty scoop is off the left rim, and that one eaten up by Montclair State. Still got to keep sticking to that, Jim.
Zaire's one of those players. She's one of the few returners from last year, and I really like her game. She hasn't quite gotten it going this year, but you can tell there's a big game bubbling over. It's going to happen soon. She's got a really smooth game. She's great at driving to the basket, kind of all-around performer that is just essential for any successful team. So I'm hoping for her to have a big game here coming up soon.
As 16 was her season high last year against William Patterson. She had 4 double-figure games against NJAC competition, and she looks for a Neal jump ball. And this hour should go back over to Montclair State as 2 substitutions going to be coming in for the Redhawks. Trying to bounce back from a 71-62 loss to Kane. After this one, pardon my sniffling, it is cold season. 3 straight home games. TCNJ, the conference favorite, Bethany, and then that obviously a kind of a tournament. Interesting there. As big-time 3 by Jocelyn Williams, and NJCU within 3. They needed that, Jim.
Awesome find from McCray there. She knew exactly what she was going to do that whole time. She knew she wasn't going to go into the big bodies. She drew on the defense, picked it out. That's just how Coach drew it up. That's beautiful.
NJCU trailed by as much as 7. They're within 3, and they force a big-time turnover. So with a 3, could tie here at 12. With a 2, get within 1. And Jim, this is the difference with Pat Devaney. If you play good defense, you force turnovers. Even if you're not shooting well, you have a chance each and every night.
Well, I like this lineup he's got out there right now. It's got Edmond and a bunch of the bench players. They're bringing a lot of good energy right now, forcing some turnovers and playing smart on the offensive end. This is a unit that might get some time together because they're looking strong right now.
And Edmond apparently had shuffled their feet, so that a turnover. It goes over to Montclair State as Jasmine Reese will come in. And Jim, as she steps in here for Edmond, who we'll see back on, 4 games, 12-point per game average. She had gotten NJAC Rookie of the Week to start last year, and then she missed the rest of the season. And it's one player that I think everyone on this camp is excited to watch.
Yeah, she flashed some real potential last year, and I think she's another one who's kind of warming up still right now. Like we said, she had her best game most recently. And it was her most aggressive, too. I think that's one of the biggest things. When you come off an injury like that, it's always a little hard to – you can practice all you want, but it takes a minute to get that aggression back to where you're comfortable with. So I think she's only going to improve throughout the season. And, she's got as much talent as anyone out there, so it'll be fun to watch her put it together.
Season high in points and rebounds with 12 and 14. We're under a minute to go. NJCU with a 3 can tie at 12 with a 2. Get it to a 1-point game. They try the tie. Williams off the mark. Reese's hook shot can't go. Her second try is good. At first you don't succeed. Try again. And Reese comes through. It's a 1-point game.
And that's exactly what we were just talking about. That was nice, aggressive, second jump real quick there. I'm liking what I'm seeing from her right now. And Leah, look at this on-ball defense here. Amazing.
That one thrown down. Hook shot too strong. Board by Jasmine Reese. This should shut off the shot clock with 22 seconds to go. You can hold for a final shot. Taylor Gaston out to Williams for 3. Short. Reese battling with Bush, and they're going to give it to Montclair State. 14.9 seconds to go. Here comes McKinnon and Taylor Brown as 2 of the top scorers on this team. McKinnon at 11 points per game. Taylor Brown third at 10.1 points per game. Both starting to come into their own. 12 seconds to go as Brown enters the front court. Trying to add to a 1-point lead. Her team led by as much as 7. Here's Carter on the drive. got it stripped on the baseline. 2 seconds to go. Then NJCU, that's where you just kind of want to either call a timeout, Jim, or even worse, but good for you, let the clock exhaust a little bit.
Yeah, I think there was a little miscommunication there, and hopefully it doesn't burn them with this final last possession. They'll have to make sure they get a hand up, but not a body on anyone here. You don't want to send someone to the free throw line. That's about the last thing you want to do here. So hopefully they can just, Pat saying hands up, make sure no fouls here.
8/10 of a second. Can a shot get off? It won't. And after the first 10, Jim, listen, you're only down by 1 despite struggling shooting, and you're Pat Devaney? I'd be happy with that result.
Well, I feel like I'm harping on this already, but I think McCray came in and the energy switched right there. She brings some awesome energy to the game, and it seemed like when she came in, Montclair almost got back on their heels a little bit, and it was the Gothic Knights who were out on the front foot, forcing turnovers and really bringing it to Montclair. So we'll have to see if that can roll over in the second quarter. A good team like Montclair is going to come out, be settled down. Their coach will talk to them, so hopefully the Knights can keep it going.
John Kelly Jr. and Jim Turvey joining me here for both games. Thank you, Jim, as after one, it is a 1-point game. NJCU finishes strong. Now they'll go into the second quarter where they really took advantage of the last game against CCNY and really took the bad taste out of their mouth for just 7 second quarter points in that loss to Rowan. Are you a subscriber to the Gothic Knights on YouTube? You should be. Log on to youtube.com/NJCU Gothic Knights and subscribe today. And you can also follow the Gothic Knights on Instagram. On your mobile device, follow @NJCU Gothic Knights to follow all the action for all of our teams. Learn about upcoming events, award winners, news, or just see great video and photo content, plus team takeovers on IG stories. Follow NJCU on Instagram today, one of which to promote, although it was last season, ECAC. That's where the men's soccer got to go. There's some stories, some fun things to follow amongst those guys. Congratulations to their coach. A fun season.
Great season for Joe Cullen and his team there.
Bush down low and a foul. Oh, I don't know. Reese may had a.
That looked pretty clean.
Oh man, I thought so too.
To get Paul on the replay here, but that looked pretty close.
So that's the first team foul as NJCU held Montclair State to just 38% shooting in that first quarter. They shot 23.8% and held the rebounding advantage by +2. So here's Bush at the line. And she makes the first of 2 as Kayla had 11 and 10 last game in 30 minutes. Just 2 free throw attempts as 60% shooting by Montclair State. NJCU, too, under 70%, Jim. That's something we should look for in this one and what can keep it so competitive.
Yeah, NJCU has really struggled from the line this year. That's something their coach has been harping on, and you have to imagine it's something that they're going to improve on from the year just because you've heard him screaming it from the sidelines. So we'll have to keep an eye on it. I think you're definitely right. That's something that could play a huge role in what is hopefully a close game here.
Reese draws contact on Kayla Bush. I love that take, and Jasmine to the charity stripe. And with 2 free throws can tie us at 13 as we will see Zadiah Myers come back in again as she had a rebound last game. And now Reese at the line for NJCU. So important for the Gothic Knights as she makes that first of 2. There is our microphone with our basket microphone. We love that. Rip and cord. Jasmine goes 2 for 2. We are tied 2 double-figure games for her in her last 3. 2 double-doubles in the last 3. And we are tied at 13. Amazing, Jim. Just 2 points for a while for NJCU. They've come alive.
Yeah, I really do think it's a little bit of a trope. I do think it's come with the aggression that they've been attacking the basket. I think they got scared off maybe those first 2 possessions with that height, but now they're realizing, hey, if we go in aggressive, we can maybe draw some fouls. And then they're forcing some good turnovers on the defensive end. So, defense begets offense. So let's keep an eye on them, see how things are going here.
So another turnover forced by NJCU as Montclair State already was 7.
And we've seen Reese on the last play. Her coach is always calling her a point guard center, and that looked pretty accurate on that last play. She just kind of roasted her. We'll see if we see it again here. She may go to the basket again because she's got quickness on most of these other centers.
She's going to take it. Her hook shot off the mark. I would continue to go to that.
That's a great looking shot, even though it missed.
A steal by Sams, but the assist should go to Lewis as Alexandria Sams. A little out of control. Reese can't get to it. Maya Neal with space offensive board. And Pat Devaney telling his team to slow down a bit. Sams off a season high last game from inside 3. Air ball and the rebound by Taylor Brown. And we've had 2 possessions here, an opportunity for NJCU to get in front. We're still tied. Now Carter on the drive, and she'll go to the free throw line, the leading scorer at 12.7 points per game with 2 free throws upcoming, 8:14 to go. Your producer and director is Paul Tanaselli. Happy to have Jim Turvey, an excellent assistant SID here, who, you know why I know so much about the soccer team? I read your previews. It's very good this year.
I love writing those things, so I'm glad that they were some help to some people, you know.
As now a knockdown by Carter. Excellent sports information program here at NJCU. It's helped me in the JUCO ranks. I don't know, Jim, I don't think I've ever seen 24 rebounds in a game last night, a men's game. That was pretty wild.
That's a Andre Drummond number right there.
Maybe. What a take by Myers, just short. And it's a rare moment here where NJCU gets beat on the offensive glass, and Myers has a chance to add to this 1-point advantage.
That's going to be 2 on Reese, so she's probably going to head to the bench for a minute as well. So hopefully we don't see that size really come back to bite them. Yeah.
And what's different from, obviously, you look at guards, that type of foul, and just heard Pat Devaney in our ear, lazy fouls hurt your bigs. You just don't want to do that. And now Reese with 2, and so sit down, and she's really taking it to Montclair State.
Well, that's one of those things where the foul happens because the box out didn't happen originally. That's something that Pat's been preaching all day, and you see a good box out there from Ayana. If you get the box out first, you don't have to foul, even if it's what you think isn't really a foul. You're in a position where you're gonna get that foul called.
Oh, what a take by Johnson. The former player Felician couldn't get it to go down. At one point, led this team at 9.8 points per game, and that's the 4th NJCU foul. One thing too, Jim, they're aggressive on trying to force turnovers, but that's going to allow fouls to be put on the board, and if you're Montclair State, you'll play that game because you get free throws and the clock stops.
Yeah, that was a tough call there. Looked about 50-50, but yeah, it probably in the end isn't worth it pressuring the ball that far down when you don't really have the help. And yeah, you don't want to be racking up fouls this early to get them into the bonus for what's going to be almost the entirety of the second quarter. So hopefully they'll continue to play aggressive, but can avoid any fouls being called. That was a good job from Ayana there, kind of pulling the chair and making sure she didn't get the foul called.
Yeah, it's something they teach you for all those big guys. Why didn't they do it on Shaq for all those years? He would have pulled the chair and knocked him out a few senior citizens.
Yeah, this team was great at it last year. You see Maisha Bacon do it a lot because she would be playing center even though she was giving up 5 or 6 inches, and she became quite adept at that. So hopefully that's something this team can do as well.
As Lewis's 2-pointer off the mark, and big rebound by Myers, and here comes Montclair State in transition, trying to add to a 2-point game. As that lay-in short from McKinnon, the second team All-NJAC couldn't come through with it. And here's Hannah Johnson. Can she go coast to coast? No. Both teams playing a bit out of control. Taylor Brown across the timeline to Carter, 3-ball. That one is short, long rebound. Sams has got it, and she will push. I think she should slow down as she gets into the front court.
I'm really liking the aggressive nature from Hannah Johnson, but I think she's got to be just a tiny bit more calm with those shots. Oh, she called bang?
Hey, why not? Good time to do it. First NJCU lead. Sams knocks down her team leading 19-3, and there's another turnover as the steal by Lewis. She'll pull up weight. Of course, played JUCO at Rowan Burlington. Very good player there, over 20 double-figure games. Johnson, fade away. That's short. Oh, Neal going to the glass. Almost got it. It skipped past McKinnon. Carter trying to go to Brown. And you got to like what NJCU is doing here on the ball pressure. You can see Montclair State trying to go a little bit faster than ever, and everyone not always adjusted.
And they look a little winded too. I think this approach from Coach Pat Devaney here and the players is working out, and hopefully it's going to continue to benefit down the line as well. If these Redhawks are starting to get a little winded here in the first half.
Redhawks are 0 for 2 from the field in this second quarter, as NJCU Played a great second quarter, really took advantage down the stretch against CCNY. Sams, another three. Good! If Alex feels it, watch out. She has the last 6 points. And NJCU by 4, largest they have led by as Riley Mulligan sets up for the Red Hawks.
Yeah, I'd love to see them draw up something for her to get another look next time down the court, because when she gets going, watch out.
Brown. That one outside and off the mark, and a foul against NJCU, so it will stay there.
There's where having Coco Reese out of the game hurts, because Bush is just going to get that rebound 9 times out of 10, so they had to commit the foul. So that's where those fouls kind of come back to haunt you. You don't quite have the size on that to match up.
As Trisha Peterson missed that last three, second at 33% from three-point land. As referee just trying to settle things up. 4-point game. NJCU leading, largest ledger they have led by as they try to get their first NJAC win. Montclair State trying to bounce back. 2-1 in the NJAC. They defeated William Patterson and Ramapo. Beat Ramapo on the road. And we'll have 2 substitutions coming in as Kim Calloway, the junior from Morristown. Then, of course, Alex McKinnon coming back in. As Kayla Bush here at the line. And she knocks down the first of 2. K-Mid team leader with 69 rebounds. Starting to really play her best basketball. And 15 blocks this year. Tops on the team coming in. She goes 2 for 2. And Montclair State back within a possession. NJCU, the key thing is, Jim, building on your lead.
Yeah, that's going to be tricky too, because I think Montclair got the message from their coach there that they got to slow down. They got to play at their pace. Gothic Knights are going to be wanting them to speed up, but we'll have to see if they can actually force them into that a little bit more.
30-second timeout. And for the most current NJCU news in real time, follow the Gothic Knights on Twitter. That handle is at NJCU Athletics. Follow NJCU on Twitter today. We are hashtag Jersey City's team. So NJCU leading by 2. 4 is the most they have led by. But they've really turned it around, Jim. They were down 9-2 back in that first quarter. Since that point, 17-8, outscoring Montclair State. And, of course, nice to see Alexandria Sams with 6 points. And really, if Jasmine Reese was not in foul trouble, I don't know, they'd have an opportunity to really extend things out.
Well, Montclair hasn't hit a shot from the field all quarter so far. So what they're doing from the line. Obviously, they're already in the bonus halfway through the quarter, so that may continue. But if you're the Knights, you have to love what your half-court defense is doing right now.
McCray, Edmond, Sams, Lewis, and Taylor Gaston in the 5 for NJCU. Trying to win their first NJAC game. Lewis from inside 3. That one hit the glass. No rim. Callaway the defensive board. And here comes Mulligan. Long toss for Peterson. Great hustle by Sams. Peterson kept it to Mulligan. Her 2. Off the mark. Knocked around by Bush. Picked up by McCray. The CCNY transfer. Feeding Edmond. Her lay-in is short. Follow-up. That is good, and that's what you need to do as Edmond extends this NJCU lead back to 4. As Mulligan will set things up for Callaway. Bush now connects with McKinnon.
And the type of energy the Knights are playing with right now is forcing the Hawks into feeling like they're frantic even in their half-court sets. You look at them right now, they kind of have that look in their eye of, I don't know what's going on. There's a great charge. Now, McCray.
And McCray, blue-collar type basketball. And that is on Kayla Bush, someone you do not want to get into foul trouble. She's probably your top rebounder, obviously statistically 69 coming in, 30 minutes last game, and that is her first foul. So she will stay in. McKinnon going to come off.
McCray's giving up a 1.5 there, drawing that charge. You got to love that.
Bush 3 double-doubles in her last 4 as Edmond could not come through, but a great job by Lewis the strip. Edmonds, Jay, off the mark, and the rebound by McLennan. Team's leader in assists with over 30. The lefty fires short, rebound by Lewis. As Montclair State still has not hit a field goal in this quarter. Sams to McCray, driving the baseline. And Smart, she'll draw the 3rd team foul on Montclair State, so under the bucket. We will have an inbound as NJCU looking for NJAC win number 1 as Carter will check back in for Montclair State. Nikki Carter, 14 points last game, made 3 threes. Career high in steals and assists with 4. And that's pretty impressive. You know, you look at a coach like Coach Harvey, you don't win 6 NJAC championships in 7 seasons. Obviously getting knocked out early by Kane last year. You can't recruit like that. And another talented freshman down the road. And looks like I think if we had this, Jim, do we have a technical? I don't think so.
No, I think Coach was trying to figure out who the foul was called on there.
That's what I thought. Signal the number is always easier. Nice drive by Taylor Gaston, the lead now to 6 for NJCU. Large as it has been.
And with her in the nominal center spot, I'd love to see her do that every single time down the court. I think she'd be able to get past her defender pretty frequently.
Montclair State 0 for 5 in the second quarter. They have not knocked down a field goal. However, they'll just try to grind it out at the line. McCray with the foul. So NJCU is over the limit. And Mulligan will go to the line as McKinnon. And McLennan to come in. McLennan will wait. Bush will come off. And Riley Mulligan here at the line. Trying to knock down. And makes the first of 2. Well, you know, Jim, wasn't for free throws. Where'd Montclair State's offense be? You got to be impressed offensively. Overall, they're shooting just 27.8% from the field.
You have to credit the Hawks, though, for staying aggressive and when the baskets aren't going in from the field, being able to get to the line. Because, yeah, honestly, without that, this Gothic Knight lead would be too scary big, and now it's just 4, and it's manageable. So from a Knights perspective, you don't want to see that, but the Hawks are doing well in that regard.
So settling everything up. There's McCray. That's your favorite player. Came in from CCNY. 4 starts in 27 games. But you got to like what Coach Devaney has done. He's gotten players here with experience, whether that's at the JUCO level, Ayanna Lewis, or McCray, who played for CCNY, a 16-win team last season. Sams for 3. Got it. She's made 3 in this one. That's how she's accounted for all 9 of her points. And she's starting to heat up. She has 23s made this year, tops on the team. And now she has come to play, leading all scorers in this one now with 9-6 from Reese and Edmond. And the lead now 7 for NJCU, large as it has been. Jim Turvey, our assistant SID. I'm John Kelly Jr. 3:04 to go second quarter. Paul Tanaselli, our producer and director. NJCU looking for NJAC win number 1, as NJCU is a proud founding member of the New Jersey Athletic Conference since 1957. The NJAC has been one of the leading conferences in NCAA Division III, winning a combined 63 NCAA national championships. Follow 10 teams of the NJAC and its affiliate members online at www.njacsports.com and on Instagram and Twitter. The handle is @NJACSports. In Jim last year, the NJAC commissioner getting honored at Casida in Orlando for his good work. Conference, we get to see this men's battle between our NJCU Gothic Knights and Montclair State. Sends multiple teams to the tournament every year, so they're doing something right.
Yeah, it's a great conference, and it's amazing to see from a slightly outside perspective, having come in from up in Vermont, to be able to see what out-of-conference games look like, and then the extra level that teams jump up when you go back to the NJAC. It's really a different level.
And what a 3 knocked down by McKinnon. First field goal made of this second quarter by Montclair State. They're within 4.
Oh, and that's not surprising. Coming out of the timeout, Harvey draws up something nice, and there's an immediate nice look for the Red Hawks.
And you talk about immediate, nice response by Lewis. Don't let it sit. Lead back to 6 for NJCU. McLennan trying to go down. Lewis with a great read on McKinnon, and that one came loose to McCray. Bombing away for Edmond, but she's too far gone, and it will go over now to Montclair State. As Lewis just so active there defensively. 13 Montclair State turnovers. NJCU really is taking care of the basketball. Just 3.
Ayana's had a great game. She's been overmatched. She's probably guarded someone 3 or 4 inches taller than her all game, but you wouldn't guess it from the numbers she's putting up and just how aggressive she's playing out there. It's a great game so far from her.
Leads all Gothic Knights with 3 steals. Callaway for 3. That one off the back iron. Board corralled by Edmond.
Great
Outletting.
from Sam's there. Sorry to cut you off.
No problem. 3 threes, 9 points. Leads all scorers. Here's Taylor Gaston. One-on-one with Brown. Going to try to work it out. And Johnson had that knocked away from her. Will stay with NJCU. Johnson played at Felician College before coming here. A lot of college experience on this roster this year. 1,000-point score locally at St. Dominic's Academy. Lewis, 9 to shoot, driving, and that one got stuffed by McKinnon, but picked up by Edmond. It didn't hit the rim. A shot has to go off. Sam's got that blocked, and that'll be a shot clock violation. So,
might have helped the Knights there.
Definitely. Montclair State. I'm sorry for cutting you off, Jim, but Montclair State a little frustrated because on that one, but it has to hit the rim.
Yeah, they wanted to get the advantage call there, but we're not doing soccer here, unfortunately.
Montclair State has just knocked out 1 field goal this entire quarter.
Wow,
and another turnover. Unbelievable. As Taylor Gaston got by Carter, puts it behind her back. And great force by Callaway. Then she turns it over to Edmond, and then Edmond gets fouled by Callaway. As Jocelyn Williams will check in with 1:12 to go. A lunch pail type game by NJCU, Jim.
This has been some of the best defense I've seen them play all year. They look locked in, and I think we'll be talking about the same thing during the men's game. But there's a lot of fresh faces here this year, and to start a season, that can be tough. You get some practices, you get the off season, but once you're really out there in the court playing games, that's when you really start to come together, especially on the defensive end, and I think maybe we're seeing the fruits of that tonight.
Sams try to go down low. Bad floater off the mark from Edmond. Under a minute to go as Taylor Brown. Great job there by NJCU, but they're going to call a foul. I thought they were going to try to force the jump ball. So that'll be the second to Hannah Johnson. 53.8 seconds to go. Johnson really got off to a great start. Season high 23 points against the College of St. Elizabeth. First 3 games, 2 double-figure games, but she has to kind of settle in as the season goes on. But great on-ball defensive skills, and we've seen that this evening.
Yeah, I'm hoping that we do see a bounce back from her because she did start so well, and she brings great energy and a great attitude. She's a great kid. You hope that she can turn around and have some of those buckets start falling. I think they will. She's very talented.
So Taylor Brown at the free throw line. She's had back-to-back double-figure games, both against the conference, as she makes the first of 2. 10.1 point per game average. Junior from Trumbull, Connecticut. And she gets to the line as well. David, 3rd field goals made and attempted, and knocking it down from the line. Hey, Montclair State just 1 field goal made this whole quarter. They don't care. They'll use the free throw line, and now NJCU with a chance to probably do that as well, Jim. That is the 5th MSU foul.
Well, I was going to say, right before NJCU committed that foul, that they had actually done a good job guarding without fouling for a couple of minutes there, because the Hawks got in the bonus, I think right over the 5-minute mark, and then the Knights didn't send them to the line for a little while, so I think they did a good job there to hold off. Now you want to make sure that final minute you ruin all that goodwill and commit a couple silly fouls, but if they can take a lead in the half, that's going to be something that their coach is going to be pretty pleased with.
So Edmond at the free throw line. 6 points for her. She has 6 rebounds, and she misses the first of 2 free throws. As Edmond, of course, 15 rebounds, a season high earlier this year. And you can definitely tell what this team could do when she's in the lineup, but she can't make both free throws, and MSU could inch a little closer. 19-second shot clock, the game clock difference. 40 on the game clock, now 20 on the shot clock. McLennan over for Mulligan. And she double dribbled. So now NJCU, this is where you really see growth, Jim. You want to roll the clock down and really get a quality shot, whether it goes in or not here.
Yeah, definitely. I think making sure that you take this lead into the half is going to be of the utmost importance. That's going to be something for their coach to be able to highlight at the half. I think we'll see Sams pull it out here. She's a smart player.
Here's Sams, all 9 points on 3-pointers. They're going to try and defend the perimeter off of her. 9 to shoot. Sams with 7 to shoot. Alexandria's got to go. 4 to shoot. McLennan all over her. Fadeaway 3 is an air ball, and that's not what you wanted to do, Jim. Shot clock will be turned off. 3.9 seconds to go, and Montclair State will try to inch a little closer.
No, I'll tell you, it wasn't a great possession, but I do love that they took the entire clock. If you're going to give the ball back to the Hawks, make it so that they're going to have to chuck up a half-court shot here, or even turn it over.
2 seconds to go. Lewis, fires at the horn. Oh, just missed. And that should end it at will as we go into halftime. First 2 quarters in the books at JCU, up by 4. Jim, your thoughts? How about the defense, first of all?
Yeah, you said exactly what I was going to say. This is a Montclair team. They averages over 60 a game, 24 in the first half. That's exactly what the Knights are going to have to do to be sticking around a team that's one of the best in the conference. So they did well handling the Montclair State size. Sams with a couple of big shots in the first half there, and they're going to have to try and repeat that formula in the second half because right now things are looking good for the Knights.
Rebounds are 24 apiece. And the Knights able to hold Montclair State to 30% shooting. There were 6 total different lead changes, but JCU here leads by 4, as 7 being their largest lead. Same thing as we get to some other key statistics here. How about keeping the possession here? JCU just 5 turnovers. Jim, you do that, you have a chance every night.
Well, and it's even starker when you look at Montclair State's 16 turnovers in the first half. So, and I think maybe the key factor in that, and I hate to go back to it over and over, but you look at Aaliyah McCray, plus 12 in her 11 minutes out there. I think she was the driving force on both ends, being aggressive defensively and then limiting turnovers herself. I was still impressed with her in the first half, and yeah, what about you, John? What are some of your takeaways?
Well, one of my big takeaways is that I like the shot selection, and then I get kind of frustrated with the shot selection. I think really, you look at JCU, as long as Reese, you keep her out of foul trouble. You got to really, I'm sure Pat Tavady telling her, we go to the glass, box out, try to get those one-on-one matchups. Taylor Gaston, allow yourself to attack McKinnon and Bush, really 2 sizable players that I've been pretty impressed with. They haven't gotten the scoring going, but they could really provide the size and rebounding-wise. And then again, move that ball, allow Sams to keep shooting from 3. Just a little closer in would be better as she leads all scorers with 9. And I'm excited to see her in quarter number 3, Jim. That's where she had 17 of her season-high 24 in the win last game. So we'll get to a few promos here. After the holiday break, the men's basketball team, of course, that's the next game we'll have. Them and Montclair State, 2 prolific scorers, Akbar Hoffman and Denzel Banks, will be in action. Of course, who can forget Sam Toney climbing up the list in JCU scoring. But after the holiday break, the men's basketball team for the Gothic Knights will be going to Las Vegas. They will participate in the biggest regular season tournament in Division III, the 10th annual D3Hoops.com Classic. Watch all games live on D3Hoops.com. And our SID, Jim, our very own Ira Thor, will be calling the action live from Las Vegas. I think Dave McHugh, who had interviewed Coach Brown prior to last year's NJAC championship, will be joining him. And it would be a sin, he said, if you missed it. I think it would be a sin if you couldn't get a chance to watch great Division III basketball. Last year, one of the top teams in the country, Worcester, played us, and if it wasn't for a couple injuries, NJCU might have won that game. Another NJAC team was in it last year, Ramapo, so catch that all on D3Hoops.com. So Jim and I will step aside, and then, of course, the second half, final 2 quarters coming up. Stats in your screen from the first half. NJCU leading Montclair State by 4 here on NJCU Gothic Vision. About to start the third quarter of play here. John Kelly Jr. alongside Jim Turvey as NJCU trying to go with their third win. Hey, Jim, big notice too. That could be program best in a while. Just a couple wins last year. That was it, basically. So, and against Montclair State, get another NJAC win, get their first of the year this year. That'd be huge. But for NJCU, some scoring has to supplement what was an outstanding first half defensively.
Yeah, they really shined on that end. They really got Montclair State out of their comfort zone, kind of forced them out of that half-court, slow and steady pace that they may be more comfortable in, and kind of got them playing back on their heels. We'll have to see if the Red Hawks are able to reset during that halftime break, and they'll be able to settle things in a little bit more. Hopefully not.
Taylor Brown, Nicole Carter, McLennan, McKinnon, Kayla Bush in the 5 for Montclair State. Sams Lewis, Edmond, there's Jasmine Reese, and Hannah Johnson in the 5 for NJCU. Right away, Sams down low to Johnson to Edmond. That shot off the mark, rebound by Bush. Like the look, though.
Yeah, that was a pretty good look to start things off. Really nice pass from Hannah there from right under the basket. That's a tough shot. I always hate taking that shot. They kind of in between. You got no backboard to use either.
Here's Kayla Bush. That shot off the mark. Offensive board by McKinnon. Could not handle. Goes out of play. And we'll go over to NJCU as Bush had 7 points in that first half. 3 rebounds. Although it was girls known for assists. McLennan that led everyone with 6 rebounds alongside Taylor Brown. The guard stepping up here. Lewis in the corner. Space. Now she'll drive. Plants her hook shot off the mark. Scramble for the rebound, and we'll see who they whistled this foul on. Edmond was close, and that's who they're going to get for NJCU. So Montclair State with a chance to get within 1, get within 2 if they get a 2.
She plays with such good energy that sometimes she will find herself picking up a foul here or there just because she's so aggressive. So you don't really mind that because she usually, if she's getting the foul, it's because she's playing hard.
Edmond with 6 points and 6 rebounds. Same thing with Jasmine Reese. Both were big in that first half. As 6 different NJCU scorers. You like that too. Here's Carter, the leading scorer, 12.7 to Brown. Driving, her lefty scoop is short. Wow, that was a tough take by Brown. 2 players on her.
She hit those first couple of threes, and then we didn't hear a whole lot more from her in the half. Knights will be trying to keep it that way because if she's getting going from outside, that's gonna be a tricky part of the offense to stop.
Yeah, she led all scorers with 8. Brown third at 10.1 points per game. Lewis spinning, hook shot. That too strong. The board corralled by McKinnon. So neither team able to get on the score sheet. Carter hoping to be the first one to do it, and does from 3 at MSU within 1.
She's really come on this year. See a couple of her best games in the most recent outing, just moved into the starting lineup. And that's someone who the Knights were able to do a pretty good job on the first half, holding her 1 for 4. We want to make sure that she doesn't get going here.
As Sam's tough drive couldn't get it to fall, Montclair State could retake the lead. As McLennan pushes that over to McKinnon, to Taylor Brown. Carter now has 6 to McKinnon. Her 2 is good, and Montclair State is out of the gate here with the first 5 in the third quarter. This is an area, Jim, that, again, NJCU really wants to take over. It's what they did in the third quarter of the last game.
Well, if we look back at the first half stats, it was the bench that really drove the success for the Knights. We'll have to see if the starters can hold their own here against the Montclair starters, because it's the bench for NJCU that really shines. So we'll have to see if they can bring their own energy, or if the bench is going to have to come in with that heat again.
Offensive board by Edmond. Tries to go up. Air ball. Reese can't get to it. Then knocks it away. Turnover and steal by Johnson. Then she threw it off a hand. Almost turned it over. But it will stay with NJCU as now Maya Neal will check in for the Gothic Knights. As NJCU just 5 bench points. Well, they were crucial in that blowout win against CCNY.
Maya Neal coming on here. She's one of those types that really is like a glue player. I love seeing her on early because she's never going to make anything but a smart play. She's going to hustle. She's going to bring good energy on both ends. So maybe that can switch up the early 5-0 start for Montclair.
A traveling violation on Jasmine Reese. And she's going to have to step up because we haven't seen any action from Deja Anderson, who's really one of the team's top scorers, someone they go to, and really key defensively.
Yeah, she's out tonight, and she's coming off what was her highest scoring game. She's got a really smooth game, really nice mid-range game that would actually work perfectly in this matchup, so it's tough to have her out tonight.
Taylor Brown driving on Neal, backed out. It'll be now 10 to shoot. Carter trying to add to her scoring. What a great steal by Neal. Johnson trying to take it to the 10, and Carter, how about that hustle back? It will stay with NJCU.
A couple more really nice defensive plays from both sides in the game. That's been the story here so far for sure.
Carter, a very balanced freshman guard, came in second with 11 steals as Johnson over to Sams. Reese, Neal, Edmond join her in the 5. Reese backing down. Shot is good and counted. Jasmine to the charity stripe.
That's an impressive catch and move there from Jasmine. I wouldn't be surprised to see that play called up several more times the rest of the game here.
Jim, I'm just a broadcaster, not a basketball coach, but I like that matchup. Unless you can really get someone who can move end-to-end with Jasmine Reese. She's a big-time forward with the speed of a guard, but she can't complete the three-point play. But NJCU does get their first field goal of the third quarter and back in front by 1 as Reese now with 8 points. Brown had that tied up in the hands of Johnson. Edmond will lead up that steal as NJCU looking to add here to a run. Here's Sams, who led all scorers in that first half with 9 points. She's known for scoring through her three-point game, but can get it done as well in the assist category. Neal looking to Reese, nothing there. 10 to shoot. Now NJCU's got to get going. Maya Neal from the baseline. Air ball. I like how she took her time there, though, Jim. Didn't panic. And then McLennan had trouble with that board. Jump ball and the possession arrow will stay with NJCU, so it doesn't hurt them.
And Edmond's never not going to be on the floor. You know, she wasn't even one of the two main players there, and she just threw her body right in. No surprise there.
So Trish Peterson comes back in. As the inbound coming from Johnson, Bush, McLennan, Carter, and that 5 for Montclair State. That will just switch as McLennan out and Riley Mulligan back in. As Johnson now on the inbound. Feeds a cutting Reese. Goes up, shot off the mark, trying to get her own offensive board and put it off herself. Good news is she didn't get called for a foul, but it will go over here to Montclair State. That was close.
That was close, and she's got 2 already, so we don't want to see her heading to the bench before needed, because as we've talked about many times, she is a matchup nightmare for any team.
2 double-figure games in her last 3. 12 a season high. That's what she averaged through 4 games before injury last year. Peterson over to McKinnon, driving on Reese. Lefty scoop off the mark. Bush trying to get the defensive board in the box out. The reason why Kayla Bush going to get called for a foul, and Johnson did it to the textbook way.
Well, I'll tell you, Hannah's having a tough game shooting, but she's been contributing many other ways. A couple really nice passes, and her defense this half has been outstanding. I don't know if she's credited for a couple steals already this half, but she's had her hand on the ball several times, and it's just making life very difficult for the Redhawks.
Came in third in steals with 11. And now a 3. Could she get rewarded offensively? Air ball in that 3.
Wow,
Reese, what an athletic move. Johnson, can she finish? Yes, that's important as Reese will get the assist off the offensive board. And she is holding her wrist as Carter got stripped and got it back and scored. So Nicole Carter with 8 points. And this is not what you'd like to see if you're a Gothic Knights fan. As Reese able to help Hannah Johnson lay that up with an assist. We hope she's all right. And we'll see what happens. She's favoring her wrist, Jim, so we'll get a quick promo in here. Are you a subscriber to Gothic Knights on YouTube? You should be. Log into youtube.com/NJCU Gothic Knights and subscribe today. You do not want that to happen here. If you're Jasmine Reese, you're finally getting your wings under you here, and we hope she's okay.
Yeah, that's going to be definitely something to keep an eye on. I couldn't tell if it was wrist, shoulder. It looked like kind of maybe all upper body. Maybe it's a stinger or something like that. But hopefully we get our awesome trainers to take a quick look, and she'll be back before too long.
This team was rolling with her in the lineup. Now Neal. Cross to Johnson, scored before. Driving on Carter and draws the third Montclair State foul. Smart move by Johnson.
I'm really liking what I'm seeing out of her this half.
Johnson got off to such a great start to the season. First 3 games, 2 double-figure games. You're going to have those scoring droughts, but Jim, if you could play defense and contribute, you're going to be on the floor each night.
Oh, absolutely.
Lewis, hook shot, too strong. Ayanna gets it back and puts it home. So NJCU by 3. Great job on the glass by the Gothic Knights. Bush out to Peterson for 3. Good, and that's the problem, though. That's one thing. We've seen them been able to get back. One time they fall asleep, Montclair State ties it with Trish Peterson.
That's what happens with a good team like Montclair State. So their coach will be preaching no sleeping in that transition. There's Sams again.
And Sams knocks down a 2, so she has 11. Leading all scorers is Mulligan, flying down the court, way out of control. Finally, NJCU trying to get a hold of it. Johnson couldn't keep it in. So it will stay with Montclair State as Sam's now her 4th double-figure game, 3rd in the last 4, and leading all scorers at 11.7 coming in. She's hit that average, 21 threes made, top on this team. And, was a teammate of Ayanna Lewis at Rowan Burlington Junior College, and Carter has really lit it up here in this second half. She's in double figures. She has 11.
We're getting a chance here to see freshman Naomi McCovery making her first her debut for this game. She's coming off what was easily her best game. She only had 6 career points coming into the last game, and now she put in 9 last game. So keep an eye on her.
So NJCU responds right back. Carter, why not from 3? That one off the mark. Lewis, the defensive board, and draws a foul. A lazy one by Montclair State. That will be their 4th.
And that's big. One more, and Knights are going to be shooting free throws, whereas they've only committed 1 themselves. So good start on that end to be aggressive without fouling so far this whole quarter.
What a job here by Nikki Carter for Montclair State. 8 of her 11 all this quarter. Here's McCrae. To Hannah Johnson. Driving on Carter, tries to split Bush, and smart play by Hannah Johnson. Just such an intelligent player. And, she was at Felicia in Division II, so she has a lot of wear and tear on those tires. She's played a lot of college basketball. Shows right there.
Yeah, she's definitely one of those who very intellectual approach to the game. She could see that the big was in a position where if she drove in, she was going to catch that leg, and that's an automatic call. So especially with the aggressive nature she plays with, hopefully she can knock these down.
First of 2. She knocks it down. Bigger story, Kayla Bush, the leading rebounder for Montclair State. That is her 4th foul, so she is in foul trouble right now. They need big number 23 on the floor. 74 rebounds, averaging 9.9 per game as that miss by Johnson picked up. And McCovery can't put it home. Lewis gets it back. Then Peterson with a block. Goes through a pair of hands. And Johnson got possession, and the good call by the officials. You always have to wait to see who really has their hands on that ball. And a timeout called by NJCU. They'll keep possession up by 2. John Kelly Jr. Happy to be with Jim Turvey, working alongside here. Our assistant SID. Your producer and director is Paul Tanaselli. NJCU looking for their first NJAC win. Try to get win number 3. And last year, really, Pat Devaney turned around the culture. 5 wins last season. So if they could get to 3, they'd be 2 where they were last year. 2 NJAC wins. He'd like to get past that. And, Jim, you can see the building blocks of it. And this is a teaching moment you feel tonight. If you could really, you've led this team at halftime. This is a team that's been to the big game. 6 NJAC titles in the past 7 seasons. Obviously a little bit of a slower start, Montclair State this year, but if you can knock this team off, you're really in a good direction, and I like what I'm seeing out of everybody.
Well, the Knights have been in a couple of their NJAC games. The one at Rowan was tough, but their 2 home ones, they lost by 4 and then by 5. And either of those came down to the wire, and it's just a matter of executing down the stretch. So they're going to hopefully get another chance to do that tonight, and hopefully they're able to finally pull it off this time.
7 to shoot. Lewis floats. That one ribs out. Nice rebound by Peterson. And a great job by McCovery to draw the jump ball. And the arrow will go to Montclair State. You mentioned one of those 2 NJAC matchups. NJCU led Kane for over 90% of that game and fell here by 4. If they could have made free throws, they'd probably beat Kane. That's the team that gave Montclair State their only NJAC loss. It was the recent one at Montclair State, 71-62. Again, Pace Lang and Shannon McCoy. Might as well, they should just do Vegas together, Jim, with how they perform in double figures with each other. Carter, 4 to shoot.
Look at this pressure.
And a great steal by Neal, then gave it back to Brown. And shot clock violation. Although I agree with Karen Harvey, didn't the possession change? I would have thought that.
It certainly looked like it, and I think she has the right to be a little bit upset there. But
so NJCU getting a break there.
Yeah, those usually tend to even out, but you never complain when they're for your team.
Neal trying to go to Lewis down low, out to McCovery. That big right paw, the face of it by McKinnon. She cuts to the basket. McKinnon breaks it up, pushes the Neal 3 ball. That one too strong for Maya. Battle for the defensive board, and it's Montclair State who gets it. Wow, what a job by Brown. Now McLennan trying to kick out. Nice stop on the ball by Johnson, and Coach Harvey to talk it over. So Montclair State will diagram something up as 1:11 to go, third quarter. A tough battle between these two as NJCU leading by 2. Paul Tanaselli, your producer and director. I'm John Kelly Jr. The men will follow. 2 of the most prolific scorers in the conference you'll get to watch. Well, yes, we know about the banner of what Sam Toney can do. But how about, as one of our analysts and a guy who works here, Pete Vince likes to say, Mr. Money in the Bank, Denzel Banks and Akbar Hoffman, 2 great scorers, and a Montclair State team that can score in bunches. Should be a lot of fun to watch here with Coach Brown, see what he's got off of win number 200, which was a big bounce-back win in Glassboro against Rowan.
Yeah, there are going to be points aplenty tonight, and I would guess a pretty electric atmosphere, too. I think we're going to see some high energy. We're going to see... Yeah, I'm really looking at what Denzel's going to bring. He's pretty steady there. If he can put it in his normal 15 and then maybe come down the stretch, he's kind of the closer these days, put in some buckets late, that could be big.
Back to the women's game. Montclair State could take the lead back with a 3. They're up by 2. Here's McLennan. To McKinnon, turns around, fade away, gets the away roll for him. We're under a minute to go, 55 seconds to go. We're tied up at 39. McRae will set things up. Over to Neal. Edmond, Lewis, McCovery in the 5. 43 seconds remain here in this third quarter. Neal. And she draws, I think it's, a foul on Montclair State. So that will be free throw shooting, yeah. So that's on McKinnon. As Kayla Bush has 4 fouls. McKinnon, one of the top 3 scorers as she came in to this matchup today, 11 points per game. And
interesting seeing Maya run the offense there. She's usually more on the wing. And you picture Aaliyah running the offense, but she looked pretty comfortable on the ball there.
Not knocked down the first of 2 free throws. Good to have Neal come back this year. Last year, of course, 64 rebounds against the conference. 11 was her season high against Pratt. And she cannot make both free throws, but why not get in her own offensive board?
That's 18 for the game for the Knights to 2 for Montclair. And I tell you, Montclair hasn't had a single clean defensive rebound all game.
As McRae almost laid it home and down, but she'll have 2 free throws upcoming. Listen, do not mind the size. She has speed and toughness, and she'll go to the line here for 2. Played a great game last game, McRae, against her former teammates from CCNY. She had 3 rebounds. And now 2 key free throws. You want to extend that lead, and she misses the first of 2. And if there's one stat you look at that game that lost to Kane this year by NJC, free throws. I think they were under 50% and could have won that game, and allowed Pace Lang and Shannon McCoy, the daily duo up there at Kane, to get the victory here. NJCU by 1, 22 seconds to go.
Even today, they're 4 for 11. So, yeah, you don't want to be looking back at the end of the game thinking, man, there were 5 or 6 free points we could have had right there and have that be the difference. So.
Shot clock turned off, 10 to go. Myers, as he draws contact. Myers is a young player. Jim, that's where you teach a young player like that with size. The minute you get that, make sure the ball is right around, Jim, right around your chest area, because that could get stripped. And with the tendency of this team defensively, you don't want to get that one knocked out of your hand. So, McLennan fires it up to McKinnon, 6 to go. Loops it down to Myers, lost control, and it will stay with Montclair State.
Yeah, I really like her footwork, but you're right. She's got to keep the ball up high. If she keeps the ball up high and she's able to play in some of those moves, she could turn into a scary player for sure.
Carter is one of them, and one. Wow. Well, the top assist lady to the top scorer, and Carter, hopefully she's okay, as a three-point play opportunity. As Carter now with 13 points. And Jim, what a way to turn it on. I mean, just 3 in the first half. And she now has 10 here.
I've been very impressed with her this quarter. And you kind of tell first half she was kind of percolating, looking for some of those spots. And now she's jumped on in the second half and has been essential to Montclair taking the lead here late in the third.
Her season high was against William Patterson, 19. Of course, those 2 wins here in the NJAC on the road opened the season with 3 double-figure games. Normally with freshmen, Jim, it takes them about, maybe the first year, maybe 15 to 20 games, and if there's not a lot of minutes there to really get their footing, it's amazing what Carter could do.
Yeah, that's a great point. It's very rare to see a freshman hop right in and have an immediate impact, and she seems to be playing some of her best basketball in conference, so hopefully she's all right there.
1.5 to go, and Taylor Brown will help complete that three-point play. MSU by 2. Taylor Gaston at the horn does not go, so Montclair State grinds that one out in the third, and in the final 10 minutes, they're up by a possession, and will try to get a win here and bounce back against NJCU. Jim Turvey, John Kelly Jr., Paul Tanaselli, our producer and director. The men will follow in this doubleheader, this NJAC doubleheader, as Coach Brown's squad trying to get him win 201, as he got a big one in Glassboro, a big bounce back win against Rowan, and some revenge too, Jim. 94.
Yeah, I loved seeing the Knightsville pull that one out as a bit of revenge for last year's NJAC championship, and the story was kind of similar. The Knights had the lead in the fourth. Rowan stormed back. Suddenly things were all tied up, but Tree Combs hit a huge three, kind of challenge three. They left him open, and he drilled it. And it was definitely has to feel a little bit better for head coach Mark Brown than your average win, with it being a revenge game in number 200.
That is definitely, at the end of the day, that is definitely revenge best served cold. But Rowan, of course, whether you're an SID or announcer, I didn't know this till I was in Haddonfield. When you look at those 2 DePersia brothers, they're not back this year. Their sister's a heck of a midfielder for Haddonfield High School, lacrosse-wise. I didn't even know this till I'm preparing. I'm like, I run into her. I said, did your 2 brothers play at Rowan? And then I said the second thing. I'm happy they graduated. Obviously what they were able to do.
They got some talent there, but those guys were probably the difference makers in last year's championship game. So seeing them out of the way, you wish them the best, but glad to see them out of the NJAC.
And it really doesn't matter whatever conference you play. When you're in league play, like Rowan last year, and like what we've seen from NJCU men or the women, when you put your foot on the gas and come out early and continue, you're tough to beat. So the final 10 minutes, NJCU down by 2. Edmund, McCrae, Lewis, Neal, and Taylor Gaston in the 5. McCrae, Taylor Gaston, Zaira, out to McCrae. Driving on McLennan, floater, off the mark, man, gets her own board, goes up, and that one deflected out, so we'll stay with NJCU. I just love it. Unbelievable she could just get up like that.
Yeah, she's awesome to watch, she really is.
As Edmond balloons back to Taylor Gaston. To Maya Neal. Taking times on possession important too. Taylor Gaston splits a pair, almost laid it home. That's what you got to love about Taylor Gaston's game. And again, Reese we know is more seasoned in that way. But man, Zaire could be so good. She's able to work on that type of game.
This can be a little bit of a throwback reference, but her game kind of reminds me of like Tracy McGrady. She can kind of do everything. She does it from the wing. Great attacking the basket. Great passer. I think she really has a very high ceiling with the potential for 4 years here at NJCU. I think she'll be a great player by the end of her stretch.
Excited to see what she could have. Free throws got to go down. She had 4 double-figure games against the conference last year. Season high was 16. Had 14 of her team-leading 18 blocks against the conference. Type of girl you want in these games.
Definitely.
As she goes 1 for 2, NJCU within 1.
I also respect the long-sleeve shirt under the jersey. I'm not sure it'd be my first choice for shooting, but she makes it work. It's impressive.
So Taylor Brown into the front court, leaves for McKinnon. Myers sees nothing. MSU by 1. Defense, the chant from the crowd. Mulligan to McLennan, 10 to shoot for Montclair State. McLennan working on Taylor Gaston. Out to Mulligan, 3 ball. That one off the mark, and that's a big offensive board by Brown.
Well, that's something to keep in mind. So far to this moment in the game, the Knights have more than twice as many shots as the Red Hawks, which is insane. But if that starts to switch, the Knights are going to have to make sure they're playing good defense to counteract that.
4 to shoot. McLennan driving. You don't want to foul here. The lefty fires and scores just at the gun. So 3-point lead for Montclair State, as that is the first bucket. What a time to do it for McLennan, who has 5 assists, 7 rebounds this evening. Neal, 3. That one off the mark. Oh, a rush shot by NJCU. McLennan will set things up for the Red Hawks.
This is going to be a huge defensive possession now.
Yeah, you definitely mentioned it, Jim. Got to get a stop. Myers. Her hook shot, good. You mentioned it. She comes through, able to push that through. Lead to 5 for Montclair State. And they're out to a good start here in this fourth quarter, 2 minutes in. And NJCU has to get back to work. Still plenty of time to go here at NJCU Gothic Vision. Did you know that NJCU Gothic Vision now has its own app? It's true. If you have an iPhone, go to the App Store and download the NJCU Gothic Vision app today. It's free. Watch all home games that you cannot attend live on your mobile device. And if you miss it live or just want to see it again, go back and watch on demand. All of this available now on hashtag Gothic Vision. Get the app today. Well, a good start in the final quarter by Montclair State. Overall, again, as you said, such a difference in shots by NJCU. The Montclair State, rebounding-wise, 38-34. Montclair State out to a great start here in this fourth quarter as they've knocked down 2 for 3, 66% they're shooting in the fourth.
Well, and they shot 70% in the third, so that's something that the Knights defense is it's doing a great job putting pressure on them, forcing turnovers, but they got to make sure that when the shots go up, they are getting hands on and not fouling. So that's definitely something to keep an eye on here.
As they shoot 34 on the season, Montclair State, so they shot 43.8% against Kane. That'd be back-to-back shooting performances. So NJCU out of the timeout. Edmund McCrae, Sams, who leads all scorers with 11.
I'm curious when we're going to see Coco get back out there, too.
McCrae over to Sams. She needs to get going. Here's Newsom as well. She's in. Good big-time player to have. And Johnson, 8 to shoot. Edmund driving on Mulligan. Finds
nice.
space. Her scoop cannot go. That was such a nice drive. They could not come away with it. And NJCU getting their first foul of the fourth quarter with 7:32 to go. Jim, the good plays, good setup. The shots just not falling. And I liked what I saw from Edmund. Just a little too strong off the glass.
That was a great move. Yeah, that move deserved a finish. So hopefully they can get some of those coming up here, because Montclair's, they've got that look in their eye right now of trying to put this one away. So this will be a big stand these next couple minutes.
They've shot 2 for 3 from the field just in the fourth quarter, 66.7%. Good to see Carter back on the floor, and a reach and foul against the team's leading scorer coming in at 12.7. So that'll be the second NJCU foul. How about a third quarter for the freshman Carter? 10 points in that third quarter, Jim, for a team leading 13 after just 3 in the first 2.
Well, I thought she was going to pull it there. She had a pretty good look. She decided to drive, drew the foul, but that's 3 right now for the Knights. That's something to keep an eye on.
Yeah, that's now 3 straight double-figure games for Nicole Carter. 6 double-figure games leads this team. We knew coming back the leading scorer was McKinnon at 12.7. That always helps as Brown lays it home. Just an easy give and go. It's just too easy, and now a 7-point lead for Montclair State. This is the largest ledger it's been for either of these squads. And now NJCU has to dig in.
Should be a great time to draw up a look for Sam's deep. I know she hasn't gotten a shot in a little while. I'd love to see her get a look here.
Johnson driving on McKinnon. Space, her laying off the mark. Newsom can't get to it, but Edmond gets it. Sams, this is the girl you talked about. Cannot connect. McKinnon, the big board.
That was a nice closeout by McClellan there, because it looked like Sam's had some space for a second.
Carter for 3. That off the right rim. What a speedy offensive rebound by McCray. Oh, weaves past the pair to Johnson. Keeps her footing. And she gets fouled before the shot. Second to Montclair State. And 6:23 to go. As how about Aaliyah McCray with the way she could move? I mean, Jim, she just flew to that ball. Accelerator. And McCray this evening, 3 rebounds. So that's 6 in her last 2.
Yeah, very impressive. And what's nice about this team is that the rebounding is pretty even, and that everyone can bring the ball off the court. So they get a rebound, they're going. There's not much hesitation there.
Johnson's got to get it in. Balloons here for Sam. To Johnson. Hannah driving, hook shot. That one rims out. Newsom, a big offensive board, but then lost from her by McLennan. Outlets to Carter. And her finger roll kind of lazy, didn't go down, and Mulligan gets the foul. Third to Montclair State. Carter got a little ginger on what would have been an easy finger roll, and a 9-point lead is substantially better than just a 7-point lead. Because of Sam's being on the floor, if she hits a couple straight threes, all of a sudden, like Carter herself, you got yourself a ball game.
Yeah, that could be a moment that works out well in the Knights' favor. That could be a big swing here. Now the Knights get to set up shop, drop a play, and see where it goes from there.
Newsom to Johnson. Trying to go to Neal. She'll just fire for 3. That off the mark. Easy rebound for McKinnon. As McKinnon now with 7 boards in this one.
The Knights have gone cold here in the fourth. They're 0 for 8 from the field, so they're going to be able. They have to find that offense from somewhere.
7 rebounds for McKinnon. Gets it back from Mulligan. Driving with 8 to shoot. And she puts it home easily. Just motors to the left block and puts it up and in. She now has 9. As she's a point away from a double-figure game. 3 rebounds away from a double-double. Sams to McCray. They need this. Short on the 3. And still without a field goal is NJCU. And then backcourt violation as Taylor Brown not aware of where she was. So kind of aids NJCU, and they got to get something here, Jim.
Well, what I'm realizing is I called for Jasmine Reese return, but we haven't seen her since she had to be helped off the court. So that may be something that the Knights can't rely on. So they're going to have to. I'd look for Sams and Lewis. Lewis on the offensive glass. Those are going to be their two main ways to get points here down the stretch.
Yeah, Reese 8 points, 7 rebounds. She got injured midway through that third quarter. We haven't seen her return. Sam's floater. They need that one. Can't go. Lewis can't put that home off the offensive glass. How about a third time by Johnson? Can't get the friendly hometown roll, and a big defensive board by McLennan. The girl on this team known for assists. It leads them with 34 now. Came in at 29. Picks up her 9th rebound of the evening, all on defense with just 2 points.
I don't know how one of those shots didn't go, and it seemed like they hit every part of the rim, all 3 shots. So that's gonna be tough if the rim's treating them that way here in the fourth.
The leading rebounder too is on the bench, Kayla Bush, and yet the guard's really stepping up. 64 rebounds for McLennan this year, second on the team as she came in with 55 total. Montclair State too can wisely work the clock here, up by 9. Brown with 8 to shoot. Watch out for Nicole Carter there in the corner. McLennan to McKinnon from deep. That is short, and Sams wisely lets that go out of play. And now possession time here for NJCU. Jim, any way you could do it, you got to get an ability here to, if it's free throws or an easy bucket, you need a shot to go down just for confidence.
That's a good point on the free throws. They're only one foul away from getting into the bonus. Yeah, and there we go. That wasn't the smartest of plays from Montclair, because now this if they can open the lid up, it seems like they're right on the precipice here. I'm sorry, we're one more away from the bonus. I was reading the wrong
5 is what it is in women's, but one more they are. NJCU 0 for 12 in the fourth. Got to knock down something. Sams hoping it's a 3. That one off the mark, and nice board by Taylor Brown. And now, well, there's the free throw that we thought we'd see for NJCU, except 5th one in the foul of them, and the free throw will go to Montclair State, a 1-and-1. And with these 2, they could get up by double digits, making 1 or 2 or 2 or 2. So Taylor Brown going to tee it up. And she makes the first of 2 free throws.
Well, and now so before that shot, both teams have been to the line 13 times, and the Red Hawks had 5 more makes, so that's almost the entire difference right there. Obviously, there's another make for the Red Hawks. We'll see if she makes this one.
They have 2 players in double figures as Taylor Brown now with 13. So both her and Nicole Carter with double-figure games. And back-to-back for Carter, as Brown actually checked that, had a stat switch. 3 straight now for Taylor Brown. There's a drive, Johnson. She can't lay it home, and NJCU still searching for that first bucket of the fourth quarter. 0 for 13 now. Bulligan out to McKinnon. That 3 rims out. Knocked by Johnson, picked up by Lewis.
Still great job from the Knights on the glass, but man, they got to get a bucket here.
And Sams gets it on the assist from Neal. And it's also about not quitting, Jim. I mean, really, that's a lot of rebounding. Now the press starts to come on. Carter sees it, able to get it over midcourt. Leaves it for McLennan.
That's another part of when the Knights are able to get some points, they can set up in their press, and that's how they were getting the Red Hawks so back on their heels earlier this game. So if they can't score, they can't get that press.
Taylor Brown. 7 to shoot. A hold key here. You don't want to foul if you're NJCU. Brown for 3. That one can't get the friendly roll. Johnson getting the defensive board and jump ball. And good job by McKinnon as the arrow going to go to Montclair State. And, you know, that's just experience, Jim. I mean, really, she will now be playing. This is her 84th career game, the senior from Fairfield, Connecticut. And that was a heady play.
Yeah, that's going to be huge, because it looked like Hannah had the ball to start, and the Knights should be looking to build on that momentum now. You get stoppage, slow down, one more possession when there's only 2:26 to go. That's pretty massive play right there.
McKinnon got that knocked away by Johnson. Sams on the floor, and this should be a jump ball. This time NJCU will get the possession. So 2:20 to go. It's still, Jim, you got plenty of time. And, you know, again, Montclair State no longer has a foul to give. So 14 straight shots to start the fourth quarter as Paul Tanaselli puts up the graphic and the screen. That means, listen, try to get to the line if you can, Jim.
Yeah, I think that we're going to see that here. If you can get any sort of contact, I'd love to see Sams driving to the basket here. I like that. There we go.
Hey, that's what we're talking about. As Paul Tanaselli, your producer and director, NJCU has missed 14 straight shots, but now they get to go to the free throw line, and if ever you got to make them. I was going to say that. I actually set up. If there's any time, you got to make them. Now is the time. So Edmond cannot make the first of two. Just so frustrating for the free throw line.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to be a team as good as and as disciplined as the Red Hawks when if you're giving away points at the free throw line.
5 for 13 overall they're shooting. At least they go 1 for 2 there with Edmond. So NJCU within 8, 2:02 to go. Trying to get their first NJAC win. Montclair State gets a 5-second violation. Great job again by Hannah Johnson.
And that's huge that Sarah made that second free throw because it allowed them to go into that press and then force that turnover. That's big.
Johnson, 23 Montclair State turnovers. Sams getting a pick, working through it. So reset. Fires down low. McCray feeds a cutting Neal, and she gets fouled. Great teamwork. Now 2 free throws coming up for NJCU.
Yeah, big high five from her coach there, Leo. What a pass. And that's such a smart play from Malia, too. She knew Maya had a head of steam, and that the only way they were going to stop her is with a foul. Getting their teammate to the line there, thanks to Leah.
So Neal 0 for 2 at the line, 4 rebounds today. She's gotten 2 steals. Hopefully trying to get some points on the board, and does. Important right now for NJCU. And again, they went 1 for 2 at the line last time, although their second allowed them to set up for that press and force the turnover. Neal a perfect 2 for 2 at the line. And, of course, 11 was the largest lead it was for Montclair State. It's now down to 6. And, Jim, at the same time, also Kayla Bush now on the floor, 4 fouls. Carter with do you foul if you're at JCU? They're not going to. Clock will continue to run, and I think they'll continue to hold down.
Yeah, I think so as well.
McKinnon takes a dribble. Out for Carter. Bush down low. She goes back up top for Brown. Bush to Carter. 8 to shoot. The leading scorer. 5 to shoot. Mulligan, that's the one you want to have the ball. Puts it off the back iron, and big offensive board. Huge offensive rebound by Montclair State. And then they throw it away as Neal with a huge time steal. Her third of the day, trying to take on Carter. 3 ball, Sams. Got it! Defense to offense. And it's just a 3-point game, crowd to life as a minute to go.
So
now Brown with it.
Maya there to slow down and look for Sams on the trail. So smart.
And they're trying to tie it up. They're going to get a foul against NJCU. They're frustrated. And it could have been a jump ball. Good news is the clock will stop. That's the 4th here to Hannah Johnson, who, while she hasn't really provided the scoring, she's been great defensively today. Jim,
awesome.
I mean, yes, that's the best way to put it. Awesome.
I think top to bottom this game, you have to be impressed with the effort.
So these are crucial free throws. Montclair State just shoots 63% or over that on the year. As Brown makes the first of 2. She now has a double-double. She has 11 rebounds, 14 points. As McLennan also in double digits rebounding with 10. And Brown knocks down both of them. Huge. She has 15.
Looks pretty confident there.
13-second shot clock. The game clock advantages. McCray missed an easy lay-in. Now you got to foul. As Edmond knocked that out. Now, Jim, you have to foul, and you have to stop the clock.
Yeah, I wonder if they're figuring out who they should be sending the line here. Brown has looked pretty good from the stripe, pretty confident. On the season, she shoots only 53% from the line. They got some good free throw shooters on this team, though, especially in their starting lineup, though. So we'll be curious to see who they highlight to try to get the ball into their hands.
And I'll definitely go back to Brown. 7 for 7 this evening.
Yeah.
So
I would
get it in number 2's hands and make them foul her. as she has now 3 straight double-figure games as she's at 15. Of course, her season high was 23 against Ramapo. And in this game, Montclair State, they trailed at halftime 28-24. The difference really, Jim, in this second half, it's been their shooting. I mean, third quarter, they shoot 70%, and obviously they cooled down here after opening up at 66.7% shooting. But that's really the difference in what happened. And for NJCU, unable to knock down some easy shots.
And some free throws. I mean, not to keep harping on this, but each team's been to the line 17 times. They've made 14, we've made 8. That's a 6-point difference. That would be the lead for NJCU right now. So hopefully that isn't what ends up haunting them again, but it may well be.
Yeah, it was very hard for NJCU. Shot 38.5% of that, lost the cane. They led over 90% of that game as Brown, alongside McKinnon, Carter, McLennan, and Mulligan. NJCU has the foul being screened by Pat Devaney, and this just works for Montclair State. They love this as McKinnon has to get fouled here, and the clock's still running. Mulligan over to Carter. Hey, why not? And Sams finally fouls McLennan as NJCU lost close to 12 seconds there, Jim.
Lost 21 seconds. There's 9 seconds on the shot clock. At that point, I almost think they should have just played the defense.
Yeah, at that point, you might as well let her throw it up. So
let's see. And this is not the shooter you want going the line either. She's 86% for the year. So I'm pretty perplexed with that.
And she makes the first of 2 as Carter now 2 for 3. Yeah, second on the team. He's coming in this week at 85.7%. And the lead now to 7. So Montclair State going to force a timeout by NJCU. 26.3 seconds to go. And, Jim, really another good conference performance. The defense was there. I think this is the best types of looks we've seen. Shots just not falling. And, as a coach in your second year, it's tough to talk to players like that because you get frustrated at a certain point, here or then. But the equalizer to any bad shooting night, Jim, we already know that NJCU does half of it. They force turnovers. They rebound well. They got to make free throws.
Yeah, and it's tough because they did start to make a couple here in the fourth. It's those ones early in the game where you maybe just focus slips for a second, miss one, and then later on it comes back to haunt you. They're 4 for 6 from the free throw line here in the fourth, but of course they've needed those because they haven't been able to buy a basket from the field. So hopefully we get another fun stretch run here if we can get a basket or two. But yeah, that may be the difference in the end here.
Montclair State at 82.4% from the charity stripe. They shot 85.7%. Against Springfield back in November. That was a loss to Springfield. And a much better shooting effort. They're just shooting 68.8. That lost the K. 26.3 seconds to go. McCray, NJCU has to go quick. It has to fire one. 20 seconds to go. Lost control. Players on the floor. And jump ball. And it's going to go to Montclair State. And head coach Karen Harvey going to take a timeout here as her Red Hawks going to get a big road win as 2 of the Red Jack wins on the road. Of the 3 they played, their loss at home to Kane. They won an OT against Ramapo. And William Patterson, they beat 60-55. And Karen Harvey, a team really last couple of years has made the NCAA tournament. Of course, shocked by Kane early in last year's tournament. 6 straight Red Jack championships. In her 12th season, let me tell you something here. Hungry to get back there. She has over 250 wins, and she's definitely done it by recruiting well. 13th season, and now obviously, Jim, as we look here to the women here, you obviously have to finish as strong as you can. You're down by 7. There's nothing you really could do here, but I think, what you really see from this game as we go really to the holiday, and then it was really last year with this program I felt took it in the right direction. They beat College of St. Elizabeth. All of a sudden they started competing. You think with the talent this year, what are fans going to expect in 2020? I really think that this could be a team that makes the playoffs in the NJAC. I could feel it just the free throw shooting has to be better. And there's just, I know that's mental, Jim.
I agree 100%. I think the biggest takeaway from this game for me would be the defense. The defense I thought was outstanding. The aggression too. Maybe some of these players haven't played too many NJAC games. This is their fourth now. They're kind of starting to feel that they can go all out. They can play as hard as they want, and that's going to be something that leads to more success than failure. So I think that should be the takeaway for the players. And then get in the gym, shoot those free throws, because that'll be big.
So that will be I believe the 5th foul for Hannah Johnson. So 3 points, 4 rebounds for her. But I give Johnson a lot of credit. The 27 minutes, man, she's a force defensively. Kind of like Bruce Bowen. You mentioned Tracy McGrady. I'll mention Bruce Bowen, a guy you wouldn't hear scoring all the time, but he could shut people down. And she definitely helps this defense enormously as that one goes through by Alex McKinnon. So getting a chance here to get into double figures, as she now is the 3rd player to get there for Montclair State. Misses as she has 10, and defensive board corralled by Lewis. Barrels over her, 11 to go to Sams. Looking for some points late and threw it away to Brown. 7 seconds to go, and Montclair State is going to come to NJCU and bounce back after a disappointing loss to Kane, 71-62. And go to 3-1 at NJAC play, pick up win number 5. And talk about a team that can get it done on the road, Jim. They just have 1 loss on the road. That was the Trinity. This is their 3rd road win, 3rd NJAC win. And they come back despite a tough night shooting and really turning it over 25-plus turnovers. And they win 57-49.
Yeah, they did a very good job settling in after they really were on their heels for a minute there. But that leadership, the coach has been there and really has been steady at the helm. Kind of helps to kind of right that ship. They turned it over far less in the second half, and they're just able to to get that offense going. And then on the other end, just shut things down entirely in the 4th quarter. The Knights really couldn't get anything going there. And that was the key.
Yeah, just 9 fourth-quarter points after getting 17 in the second. And really, again, 3rd and 4th quarter, Jim, they shoot under 20%, just 11.8% in that 4th, 26.3% at JCU. But they play so good on the defensive side, 46-45, +1 rebounding margin. But they force 24 Montclair State turnovers, so that's 25+. They get points off of it, and they fall here as, again, Pate scoring 20-20. They get 11 points out of their bench, and hopefully Jasmine Reese will be okay for this squad, as Sams, again, leads all scorers. Again, 16 in this one, so she's continuing her tear now. As Sams with 4 double-figure games, just really playing. Well, 4 of those threes helping her out, but we hope Reese is okay. 7 total rebounds, 8 points. 10 from Ayanna Lewis, so she's getting it done on the glass, 4 points. And 9 rebounds from Edmond. Good return for her, 7 points. And listen, Jim, 5+ players, if they're scoring, getting on that score sheet, you're going to have a chance every night.
Yeah, and Lewis